Hi YouTube, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Rooney, in case you are meeting me for the first time, and today I'm going to be talking about finals in university. Dun dun dun.
1 a.m. eyes closed, I'm slowly falling.
You heard me right, I'm going to be talking about final exams. I am a first year university. I just finished up my first term in university, and it was rough. The finals were definitely a new experience for me, so I want to share what that's like for you guys, because hopefully, if the algorithm works, you guys are seeing this and you guys are in high school or seniors in high school and kind of questioning what university is like, and I'm here to tell you. So let's get into it. I had 3 different finals this term. I had a linear algebra final, I had a computer science 1 final, and I also had an intro to archaeology / biological anthropology final. So kind of 2 math, I guess computer science is math, not really, but 2 kind of like sciencey, and then the intro to archaeology was more of like an arts type of exam, so a lot more writing and stuff, but we'll get into that. So those are my 3 that I did, and they each kind of had different environments, different layouts, so I'm going to talk about that. Before we do, let's talk about the preliminary stuff. So there are a lot of rules, just like, you know, like any exam, right? You can't be cheating, so that's what these rules are there for, to prevent that. But compared to my midterms video, which I'll link up here, it was a lot more strict than the midterm. The midterm was kind of like you still show up to your class or lab period and you just write there, and it's worth a significant amount of your overall grade, usually about 25 to 30 or whatever. Meanwhile, the final is worth more, usually about 50%. Again, usually, so I'll get into that. But yeah, I found this experience, finals, more strict than midterms. Midterms kind of like you just show up to your class, whatever room you're usually in for lectures or labs, that's usually where you write your midterm. Meanwhile, final exams are in this like in a different place. Usually they give you the room number. For example, me, 2 of my exams, the linear algebra 1 and the computer science, were both in a huge gymnasium. While my intro to archaeology exam was kind of in a smaller, more secluded room. So it varies. But either way, very professional, because here are kind of the preliminary stuff. One is you have to show up at least 15 minutes before your exam. I think they just say that to make you show up, to make sure that you show up. So you don't turn up late. Also must bring ID. So I have like a little student ID card. I have to bring that in order to verify my identity. And it may differ from university to university, but usually your professor is the one. It's not the only one, but usually is the one there also regulating the final exam. I did have one case though where my lab instructor was there instead of my professor, and that was the computer science one. I don't know, but I guess it varies again. But usually, either your professor or your lab instructor will be coordinating this final exam, and you have to show them your ID, even though they already know you because you've been in their class for. But I mean, in big universities, they're not going to know you, but just give them your ID basically. And you also have to have, while you're writing the exam, you have to have your ID placed face up um, on your table, on your desk, wherever, so they can see it the entire time. I thought that was a little weird, but teach their own, I guess. If you don't bring ID, you are not allowed to write the exam. That is a big thing. They are very strict on these types of things. If you don't bring ID, you're not getting in. So bring your ID. Stuff that you can't bring, obviously, don't bring any type of devices, smart devices, your phone, your Apple Watches, your Airpods, whatever. Don't bring that stuff because you can't have it with you. That if you get caught using it, it's cheating. Even if it's in your pocket, like that's not cheating, but like they'll frown. Like, don't bring it on you. My advice, obviously, you need to have your phone, right, for communication, for transportation, that kind of stuff. So bring like a little bag, and then like put your stuff in the bag. Guys, you can bring fanny packs, whatever. And then you can like have the bag like dangling on your chair, or sometimes there's like a little tray where you put it at the front of the room. So that kind of stuff. So yeah, try and keep your stuff that you bring minimal. Don't bring a huge backpack that you usually bring to university. Don't do that. Yeah, don't bring anything that you think is like valuable. Don't wear jewelry. Don't, I don't know. Just don't bring valuable things. Period. The most valuable thing you should bring is probably your phone. But again, don't have it on you while you're writing the exam. Usually bring a couple pencils, bring a pen. There's this one instance at my university where somebody cheated by, at the very end, they like did their exam, they handed it in, but they like took one of the exams that was already handed in before them, and they erased their name because it was in pencil and put their name in pen. Whole debacle. So bring a pen and write your name in pen. So write your student ID in pen, your name in pen, your signature in pen. Bring a pen. So don't bring any reference material, no notes, no, you're not trying to cheat, right? Some exams will allow you, like calculuses, they usually allow you to have like a little cheat sheet, reference sheet with a bunch of formulas. So good on you. You don't wear any like things that look suspicious, no covering up, like, I don't know, no bulky jackets, no hats, unless it's like for religious reasons. And yeah, you can wear something on your head. Actually, no food at all. I don't know why, but there's no food. I guess it's kind of distracting to other people around you. Also, if you bring water, it has to be in a clear water bottle. So, like those, just like, I don't know, like a little water bottle, but take off the label. It has to be clear. There are also these people called invigilators, which walk around the room, and they're basically like student paid volunteers. I guess it's not volunteering if you're paid, but they're paid students who basically are regulating the exam, also checking to see if people are cheating, verifying your ID again while the exam is going on. So just be aware that those people also are there. It's not very quiet when you're writing an exam. Like you'd think it would be, but it's usually not. There's people in high heels walking around, invigilators. It's so annoying, but like, whatever. If you have to go to the washroom, I mean, it's different for each university, but for me, it was like you raise your hand, you wait for an invigilator or your professor or whoever to come and, ask you what's going on, and then you're like, I need to go to the washroom, and then they will take your exam from you. They will make sure you don't have anything on you that you can cheat with, no phone, nothing, and then let you go, and then you can come back. And you also have to sign a form, like a sign in and out sheet, so they can time you and they can know that you left. These are kind of weird rules, but I thought I should talk about them. No student shall exit the exam room within the first 30 minutes of the start. So you have to wait at least 30 minutes before you can leave, which I feel like no one even finishes that fast because exams are long. They are long. And then another rule is no student shall exit the exam room within the final 15 minutes of the exam period. And I think that's for like circulation purposes. If there's like 10 people that all leave at the same time, cheating can happen that way, right? Like some people may like, it's just hard to keep track of everything. They are very much documenting every single thing. Like I said, you have to sign in and out if you want to leave the room. You have to, they're verifying your ID. Like they're super strict of everything. So yeah, if you're within the last 15 minutes of the exam before it's over, you cannot leave. If you're done, you raise your hand, they come take your exam materials, but you have to sit there in your chair and with nothing, because you can't even use your phone, just looking around, or don't even look because that would be cheating, just like staring, waiting for the buzzer, waiting for them to tell you it's over. Weird, but so I guess try and finish before the 15 minutes so then you don't have to do that. Those were kind of the preliminary stuff. Obviously, academic dishonesty applies here too. You have to sign the sheet that says you will not cheat, blah blah blah. In terms of setting. So like I said, I was in this huge gymnasium for my linear algebra 1 and computer science 1 exams. And I thought it was just going to be like my class that's writing the exam. No, it was like at least 5 other classes. And we had like rows. And it was like maybe one row of, I think it was like calculus 3 students, then linear algebra, calculus 3, linear algebra. So you can't cheat off the person beside you. And it was just like, and obviously there was also a divider between you as well, but there's like one desk and a divider, and then it was interesting for sure. The most surprising thing, though, I mean, that was pretty surprising, but even more surprising was kind of like how loud it was. Like, you could always hear somebody whispering, and usually it's like the professors at the front gossiping. Um, yeah, it was weird. It was never like a quiet moment, but whatever, it is what it is. Let's talk about timing. I had like AM exams and PM exams. Actually, that's a lie. All my exams were PM. PM for me was like 2 p.m. to 5 p.m., so about a 3 hour length of exam. And one of my exams actually got reduced to 2 hours, so I started at 2 p.m., finished at 4 p.m. That was my computer science one exam, and honestly, I'm okay with that because like it's shorter, and I don't want to stay till 5. I hated the PM exams, let me just tell you, because it just felt like the whole day I was anticipating it. I got there, did it, and it was grueling and tiring, and then I go home and I'm just exhausted. I can't do anything. Literally, like it just it drains everything out of you to write an exam because it's so long and grueling and so many questions and so annoying, honestly. I would have rather had it in the morning. AM exams are I think 9 a.m. to 11. No, 9 a.m. to 12. 9 a.m. to noon, basically. So yeah, 3 hour periods, and not every exam is going to be 3 hours long, but usually that's the allotted time. Some tips I would give you is one, again, bring a clear water bottle. One of the days I didn't bring water, and I was so thirsty, so parched because 3 hours of no water, so dehydrated. So bring some water. Another thing I would do is definitely uh, study with friends, like not during the exam, but like, I mean, leading up to it. It's always good to like quiz each other. That's my way of studying. I love it. Go check out my Quizlets. Kind of easy plug there, but that's how I study, and I do it with friends too. It's just so it's easier and it's kind of beneficial to everyone. So yeah, try, like, you don't have to. I am very much an independent learner, but I also do study with friends. So trying a lot, like 1 hour, not a day, but like 1 hour in the week leading up to your exam to study with friends. See how it goes. If it just turns out into a hangout session, that's okay, because, well, you have many, many more hours to study by yourself. So that's usually how it goes. And lastly, my final tip would be to not stress too much. I will say, yes, they are long and grueling questions, but professors are usually forgiving. And oh, here's another tip: professors aren't usually the ones marking your grade anyway. It's usually like the vigilators. They actually are the ones marking your grade. They just get like an answer key, and then they just mark your grade, mark your paper. So it's not even your professor marking it. I mean, sometimes it is. Like my intro to archaeology, I know she's the one marking it because there was only like 15 of us, so it's a pretty small class. She can mark them. But in case like computer science, where there's 90 students, my professor's not going to mark all of those. So just know that your professor isn't the one marking it. I guess I don't know how that would be a tip, but just know that. In terms of studying, I may make a different video. I feel like this video is already long, but I might make a different video about how to study in university, because I feel like I did okay, right? Um, yeah, I feel like I did all right. If you want to know how like my initial reactions, go check out my vlog series, my December vlog, Merry Final Season, I called it. Yeah, I was just ranting the whole time. I'm just kind of like this. But yeah, honestly, just give yourself some time to breathe. Take breaks when you're studying, and try not to study the night before. Give yourself at least a week to study, and study a little bit every day, and make sure you understand the key concepts. If you don't know what the key concepts are, go to your syllabus. It's on your syllabus, and understand those key concepts. That's pretty much how I studied, and I feel like I did okay. Who knows though? Anyway, I talked a lot about the exam experience. I hope you guys learned some things. I would reveal my grades, but they aren't in yet, so stay tuned for that video. By the time you're seeing this, I probably already filmed that video, so go check it out afterwards. Yeah, my reaction to all my final grades. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you learned something. I hope you high school students watching this also learned a lot about finals. Maybe one last thing I'll talk about is final exams in high school versus university. Two completely different beasts. high school, not many trick questions, a lot, like, it just feels a lot more cumulative. High school or university, very much about key concepts. If you don't know them, you're screwed. And if like there are questions, here's another tip. If there's questions on the midterm, those questions aren't necessarily going to be on the final exam. If they were like really important questions, maybe they'll ask them again, but that would be redundant, right? So usually they do still, like, test on those concepts from the midterm, but just kind of in a different way. So you can't really study your midterm and be like, this is what's going to be on the final. No, it's usually, most of it is usually after the final or after the midterm. That's what you should study. And then key concepts from the midterms. Concepts. Yeah. Yeah. Another big thing, high school versus university, is obviously in high school, your final exams aren't worth that much, aren't worth 50% of your grade. They aren't. Meanwhile, in university, they are, usually. One special case, my intro to archaeology exam, and I feel like it's also a special case for like art students and stuff, is my intro to archaeology exam was only worth 35% of my grade. My final was only worth 35%. So, but it was really hard. It was the one that I found the hardest, and I made up some stuff on my exam. I was writing essays. I made some stuff up. Anyway, yeah. Hope all this helped. Leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment below if you have any more questions about finals. Are you in university? Are you in the first year? How'd you like it? Yeah, check out my Instagram and TikTok. And bye. See you later.
Don't wanna go down like this. My head's in a place that I don't miss. So ugly, so grumpy, sleeping